Hello everybody, sorry to keep you waiting. I was trying to sort something out, it took longer than I thought. I'm looking forward to adding some more stuff to the game. Hopefully not too much of a late night. But I've certainly got a couple of hours left in me yet. Enjoying that Rubicon music, I hope that's okay to use. It's great music. Right, let's get rid of that sign soon sign. Hello Moz, hello Geo. Nice to see you here. Thank you for joining right from the start. Hi Fractal Mike. Brilliant. Thank you everyone. I was struggling all day at work thinking about what to do with this. And I never really arrived at anything. I'm quite happy with how all that works. Of course, we need to tweak maybe some of the values. So have a look at what he's actually doing. I was thinking maybe adding some sort of graphics in to level 2. I mean, maybe Bob could use a desk up there. It's cramming it in though. We might have to move all the other desks down slightly to do that. But that is actually okay, the way he's walking around. I'll probably need to add a pause in, you know, he needs to stand still for a bit sometimes. That's probably the easiest thing to do next. Then we'll get onto the pathfinding where he actually, you know, alert mode pathfinding. It's going to be tricky that. Well, I guess I've got to add them, I don't want to call them aisles, but wherever the stalls are, he needs to walk on that level as well, doesn't he? I can work that out from the desks. Why have they done like that? Let's fix that. Oh, these are the hearts. I haven't actually changed anything. Is that the hearts? That's the hearts that show up underneath the desk, isn't it? Yeah. Just making sure it compiles, that's all. Yeah. Oh look, Mikey's standing up straight from the word go now. That was a bit weird. Maybe I pressed up by mistake. That's right. I've got to move this because it makes more sense to have it in level 1 here. And I should call this L1 desk stator. Match it up with the way we've done everything else, and obviously there are other levels that have desks. I just wonder where else I've used that here. I think that's okay now. Let's try and compile it again. Oh no, it's not. Line 7 of player. 5 times. That's great. They seem to be working fine. That's brilliant. Okay, that was quick and easy. From the desk, I was just going to get the Y position. Oh, that was why I put the plus 24 there. But it doesn't matter. I did toy with the idea of making hearts just part of the desk. We could have just added more data here for where the hearts were. But I've done it like this now. I keep forgetting what I'm doing. I'm sorry about this. I was just looking at them to find the Y value for something else, but my brain's blank. Oh, it was just for where Bob wants to move. Hearts is even better because that's actually what we want him to walk right over, I think. I know it would make a lot of sense for me to take a snapshot at the very least here, and so I can just look at it. In fact, I'll probably do that. But it doesn't take long to boot it up. Yeah, we'll walk Bob when his head has to be level with. Oh, close really. To be honest, it looks like he has to be level with the desk, basically, like his actual head. Let's try that. So 88, 120, and 152. May as well make them constants in this level. And why not prefix it with level 1? I'll put some of them in here. I guess they are just standard. But these are level 1 specific. I'll just call it alley. So top alley. Can't think of a better name. Aisle maybe, but it's too hard to spell. And although it's a little bit annoying, I should probably just use them in there as well. It will end up making things a bit clearer, I think. They shouldn't be called L2 and L. Oh. And in fact, I'll do the same here, and I'll just do like, you see a desk is going to have the heart offset, because it is, every desk is going to have the same one no matter what level it's on. And I think it was 24 I'd put. Might be 22. A lot of time in alleys. That was the bowling alley because they're too expensive. I still remember a funny time. My dad, I was a grown up. I was about 21, but my dad got it in his head that he's going to take everyone to the bowling alley for someone's birthday, and there was like my sister with 5 kids, me. There was a load of other people there. My dad's like, "Oh, I'll pay. Don't worry, I'll pay. It's going to be all right." Got there, ended up costing him like 200 quid just for like 20 minutes worth of bowling and a couple of snacks. It was brilliant. Tenth frame. I'll have to check that out, man. It sounds like I really want some nice chill games. You know, I can just play at my own pace while I'm having a smoke or something after work. So that sounds like a great one to try out. Yeah, so I put the offset in with the desk anyway. It didn't really matter where I put it. Just a small amount of tidy up, but I think it will pay off. Of course, if I want to, there's nothing wrong with having a heart like that. And of course, they could all be constants. And then maybe when you get to the heart, you just put one of them at the end and then start again with the next heart, you know. But of course, it's more convenient to write it like that. But sometimes it's better to see it like that, like with sprites. Sometimes you don't see the wood for the trees, do you? When you have too many numbers and letters like that, sometimes it is just better to have it all like, you know, line downward. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with me doing stuff like that if I really want to, you know. But I'm not going to really get into that habit, I don't think. The habit I think that's best to get into with this kind of coding language is just being very bloody careful when you read every single thing. But I do fail on that a lot. Evening, Coder Mick. How are you doing, mate? Going on the way home from the pub. Right. Tired after raiding. It does sound energetic raiding, but more just frantic mouse clicking, I guess. Or communicating is probably the hard bit with your teammates. Right, much again. I mean, yet again, I'm spending much time not doing a great deal here. I've just changed these numbers into convenient little constants. Let's get down to some actual work. So I've created these alleys at least, haven't I? And actually, I've already created the mechanism of changing when he gets to an alley. I think this is laid out a bit backwards. I want this right at the top. After try move. Like I said, that's like the getter setter, but well, it's just the setter side of the getter setter, really. If you're used to C++. Then that's one big routine. But I want that above this middle changer stuff. Because that's like the walls. That's like the very first thing I was thinking about doing. And that's done. Now we've got this middle changer. I hate that name. It came out of me late last night. After a big struggle with the code. But it does what it says on the tin, to be fair. So I'll probably just leave the name. These are two separate routines, I see, that do the same thing on opposite ends. I could have done something like this, couldn't I? It would have maybe been cleaner. I probably should, shouldn't I? We've got what we've called corner cases here. Couldn't we just imagine a corner is any, what's a better word for corner, like a node or a waypoint? You know, it's just a point in his path where he might turn. His range in the alley, peeing. Yeah, he's gonna be able to go full range here, just randomly. Let's change that from corner cases. Let's just change this to jump labels, just to remind me again. Direction nodes, crossroads, nav mesh node. It's similar, isn't it? I'm thinking about calling it a node. So let's just do that for now. Direction nodes, direction choice nodes. So I can read this in 5 years' time and I'll still know what it means. So everything has to come below this, above this, because it'll jump. But here we check the wall, but we could just as much check a node, couldn't we? Let's just get started. The top, he checks if he's on the left, right. If we do just thinking about what to do first now, because maybe I need to set up some constants for all these nodes. I mean, mid X is the first one I'm thinking about anyway. We've already got constant for it. Am I trying to be too clever though? Because maybe I could just get any step count up. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to make him stand still a bit, wasn't I, first? I'll carry on making him walk first. Do these alleys. I don't want to call them like node 1, node 2, node 3 or anything like that. But I'm kind of thinking, let me just kind of visualize this. So it's like something like that. What I should do is find out the exact amount and draw this. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's mid. And then I won't bother doing this bit to scale just now. Something like that. Obviously there's way more down, but really, because there's a lot more lines. Well, it's a square actually, so it'll be 10. There'll be 10 of them. That would be halfway though. T-nodes is a good name for it, isn't it? I suppose, yeah. Well, the thing is, at a T-node, he can only go right, like if he's left or down. You can either continue or go down. We do not really want him turning round. But that would, so now we're gonna have to do check what direction he's facing as well, won't we? So not only have we got to check his position. I mean, maybe if he turns around, it's not that bad. Left and right ones get used twice. There's definitely a load down here. I've put that in the middle, but it's wrong. Because there's 3, isn't there? Plus, like, the bottom would be... Let's just leave that in the middle for a sec. I know this seems stupid, but it might help just visualise it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. I think that's right. I might be 2 out. Because it's 24 total. 10, 11, 12. 1 out, I think. I'm terrible at simple maths now. I don't know why. I'm really, really bad. But we roughly need them like there. There and there or something like that. Yeah, checking the way he's facing is as simple as that. It's not hard, but it'll be a case that we have to check it and then return out of a loop. That's what makes it hard. It doesn't make it hard, but it adds a layer of complication. Because if you're already checking one thing and then you want to also check another, do you know what I mean? It can just become a sort of mess. The only reason I'm really pausing now is just to think of the best way of doing it. I can already think of a way or even 2 ways. But I'm trying to figure out, sometimes there's like a real obvious little formula, do you know what I mean? Instead of hard coding. Because I can definitely hard code. I can say, look, is he on the left side of the screen facing up at this point? And if he is, go either right or up, you know. I can do that. And that won't be that hard, you know, it won't be that long-winded. I wonder if there's anything else we'll later want to add. Not really. Alright, let's just have a play around and try and do it now. So nodes. That's what I wanted to look at that for, really. Got the corner nodes done. And in the corner node, we just get a random number to do 50-50. That's not really the important bit, yeah. This is the important bit. So we know that we hit a top wall, and therefore we know we're either in the top left or the top right. That's very basic. That's why it's only a corner. That's why I called it corner, wasn't it? Because it only checks if you're in the left or the right or the middle. Can we keep track of this direction? You feed it into a value which. Yeah, we've got that. Look, I'll show you that quickly. We've got several of them. So this direction here is just a load of constants, look, up, down, left, right. But then in Bob, we've got Bob direction, dB down. So we've set it to be down. And then in his movement code, the very first thing it does when it tries to move is it sets that direction. So that's keeping track of his direction. We've then got a desired direction for Bob. We haven't got that for the player. But we've got the same thing, it's the exact same. It's just called desired direction. Here we can set that, and then in the update loop we check, is it the desired direction? Try move. And then it will actually set the direction. The reason for doing that is it gives you a tiny bit more control over his direction. It allows you a step between to do things. He's got desires, exactly. Teachers do, you don't think about it when you're there in school. But they're just people like the rest of us. I'm just thinking about whether I should bother overcomplicating it, and I think the answer should be no. I've got this corners done. I just need to come up with a way of checking nodes instead. I can probably scrap this middle one in a minute. That'll still just work when he hits a corner. Well, when he hits either the top wall or the side wall. So that's a good point. What happens if he goes across a node, hits the wall, it'll hit the wall on the right, let's say, if we've sent him from the left in an alley. It's going to think he's in a corner, as long as he's, whichever side of the middle he is. So maybe I do need to get rid of these. Maybe I need to get rid of corner. And I need to actually make these a little bit more specific to what node they're on. So there'll be how many nodes? 15. So instead of having 4 of these, I've basically got to have 15, I think, doing the same thing. We can leave them, but we'll need another 11 of them. If he's in a corner, well, if he's in a corner, he has 2 options. And that was just to make him stop looking at the wall all the time, because he kept doing that. But the problem I'm trying to explain is, it thinks he's in a corner, look, the way I've coded it, but really he's just either above or below the middle. But yeah, so let's pretend he's in the top left corner and it's figured that out. It'll call this, and that decides by 50-50 whether he goes down or right, because he's in the top left. And then I've just done the same thing, obviously, for the other one. But this time we need to just have the exact same thing. I just need to come up with some naming system for these nodes. That's right. I don't want him to repeat back on himself. No, I think, yeah, that was it. We were trying to stop him repeat back on himself, but even more importantly, to stop him trying to walk into the wall, because it just made him look like stupid, because he was doing it more often than not. It would have been alright every now and then. There's definitely better ways of doing it, because when I had a smooth little routine that was doing it all for all the corners in one, but I just needed a little check in that routine really to say, if he's facing this direction and the answer is this, redo the random check and select another direct. That's what I should have done. But I tried that and it didn't work, and then we done this and it worked, so just ended up with it. And I don't mind it. I don't mind this. I mean, having 15 of these instead of 4 is not that bad. Like I say, I've just got to come up with a naming convention. Do I want to keep the name corners, which I've already written? Of course, I could just rename them right now with my own naming convention. Like, for example, I could just call this A0 for Ali 0, and it's going to be 0. That's the thing. Let's just write them in here. Nodes. It doesn't even know it's assembly. It's going to be a horrible name because I want it prefixed with L1. So I can reuse this later and just change it to L2. L1 nodes, then I don't have to worry about any naming clashes. It's horrible, but I mean, I could just as easily call it that. That'll do. it's working out these. It's going to be very tricky. I can't think of a better way. Because it's going to get worse. Because I need an X and a Y for it. Okay. Reading your messages. I think I've applied quite a lot of modern um, uh, features or design methods. I think some of my stuff is semi modern. Like that, yeah. Like for example, in Unity and most game engines, you always have an update that you can just call, and it in C plus you'll have a return type which would be void, and then there's always parameters as well, and then it's laid out like that. So all the functionality like do stuff here, and then the brilliant thing is you can just pass like a float, lives, or you could say float amount, and then this could be add score, and then you could, that's asking for an amount, and then you could just say, score plus equals amount. There's loads of stuff in modern stuff that you can do, but yes, to answer your question, they have like a start. This is sometimes boilerplate, and then an update and a draw. And when you're really new to coding, this draw stuff just happens, and you don't even know really what's happening. You just put like everything will be followed by brackets like that, and then you just put like sprite dot draw, and you just hope it works, and it would. I'm pretty sure in Unity, I can't even remember, I haven't used it for so long, but I think there's not even any draw. They've got rid of that for you, and they do it all for you. So you only have update, if I remember right. But yeah, I've probably learned a lot of good and bad from that. The constants thing, I use them less. I use them more in this. Have I just gone completely off track? Because like I would think I need that and that for every node. What I really want to do is say, if Mikie is in the position, then he's at a certain node. That's right, yeah, it's a mono behavior. I do love Unity. I'm sure if I got back on it, it would all start flowing again. I used to be able to produce some really mad stuff on there. I love the particle system, the animation system. The only thing I didn't like was what I've already explained to Moz and a couple of others on the channel. Their networking is horrible. They force you basically to use their own paid service. Talking about Unity, yeah? Yeah. I've had a dabble with Unity. Yeah, I hate the network. I've moved over to Unreal, but that is quite hard. I was still fiddling around making basic games on that when I stopped. I was just thinking about doing that, Fractal. Do you know, I was just thinking about, but that would mean I'd have to make a byte rather than using a constant, wouldn't it? I think you might mean doing this, because I've definitely been considering doing that. Yeah, I'm having that debate in my head while I chat with you guys. Actually, funnily enough, you read my mind there. This way is more flexible, you think? Or are you talking about Unity? I might be getting mixed up. But it's good to have a debate about it now. This is the time to do it rather than write a load of code and just make do with it. But I sometimes think that's easier on the processor. I don't know if it is or not. Bytecodes. Yeah. Okay, that sounds advanced stuff. That sounds good. So I'd have just like node 0, obviously L1. Well, in fact, why not L1 nodes? Yeah. Let's pop it into the level 1 now. Get rid of this. That's great advice. Thanks, man. I was contemplating it in my head, but I was not sure which way to go. I mean, it could probably go in Bob, the nodes. But I guess the desks are here. But it's really just, I suppose, no, it should go in level, because let's say there was Bob and another, and another enemy. That's brilliant. I should have thought of, well, I did think of it, but I started thinking the constant was better. But this is better. The only drawback is we're going to need to use like IX, I think, to iterate through these. So we can do the +1 and that, +2, or +0, +1. I'm going to load the game up. It's probably not going to like it. Yeah, it does. Okay. I'm just counting nodes on the screen. That's all I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 12 nodes, including the corners. I'll probably have that as the top left corner, and we'll just get rid of all the code we've already done. Top, mid. Let's just write it. No, we don't need to write the whole thing actually. In fact, I'm going to do 0, 0 like that. So that's one line in it. I normally do that so I can just stop getting out. I don't have to tell it how long the data is, but I don't think we're ever. If we do already know. And these are going to be a different amount, of course. I could just tell it to end after it does that one. I'll put that there to remind myself. So there's 5 rows of nodes. 1, 2, 3. Is there only meant to be 4? 4, yeah. Okay. Here's where it's going to get nitty gritty, isn't it? Because I've got, that's not actually 0, 0 for a start. So 3:45. X is bytes, Y lines. It just reminds you, just in case. So that's of course the same for all them. From memory, I know that's 11. It's mid X. I could just write mid X. There it is, 11. Oh, I should have stayed in that because it's max X now, isn't it? 20. I think the X is going to be the same for all of them, isn't it? So I'll get rid of them. Okay. And then the Y is actually the same for each 3. So it's not too much to figure out, but I think I'm going to have to load it, copy that. Well, I think I've already got one. Give me a sec, I'll see if I can load something up. Oh, I might have moved them. Let's just do it. I'll load it and take a screenshot, and then I'll load that into GIMP and put that on the screen. Okay. So this will help us. I should probably have got it into ZX Paintbrush because this doesn't tell you in character cells. Oh, it's the Y we're doing anyway. So that's 88 there, but I don't think we ever let him get there. Oh god, I deleted that. Sorry, I can change the impact. Top Alley's 88. I've messed this right up because that's well wrong. That puts it right at the top. Top Alley 88, For some reason I put that into the desk because I've messed up, I think. Because 88 is right up there. I just took a photo though. How did that work? A screenshot? Wait. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Perhaps I didn't even compile it the whole time. I didn't save it. Oh, the desk is still there. Jamie. I'm not fluent in emoji yet. Bob looks menacing, man. How is 88? I can see. Oh, I'm counting the border, and I. What an idiot. No wonder. Right, it's perfect. Oh, beautiful. I'll just draw a node on here with like a crazy colour, like pink or something. Purpley pink. Look at the demented vicar. He looks bloody crazy, I know that. He reminds me of someone out of Day of the Tentacle or something like that. Alright. So 64 is the very top wall. But I know he can probably only get to 68, so let's just see what min y is. 45. Oh, of course his head goes up there. Alright, well it seems to be working. 45. So you don't get to there. So you've got to remember that with the nodes. Okay, I've got to bear in mind that, haven't I? Every time I draw a node. I mean, I could, if I just drew the node where I wanted them to be and then added an offset to each one, I guess it's the exact same thing. That's the one beautiful thing about when you use a constant, you can easily add offsets. Cost nothing, no time. Anyway, I said it was there. So that's 40. 24, yeah. Alright, so we actually would let him walk all the way up to the floor. It's just that we offset him by 4. So that's where all the nodes are so far. And if I wanted him to walk there, I probably want to add 3. I think there then. Seems odd, but I think it's going to work for us. Thing is, I've had him go down here, haven't I? And it looks quite good. Sorry, I can play around with that sort of stuff afterwards. I'll just do this nice and uniform for now. That's just so I've got the coordinates there and I don't have to work it all out. What I'll do is I'll slip back into that view now and just do it, just type it in. But at least you see where I'm getting it from. Where are they? There. Oh, that's funny. I think it should be 2 actually. The rest of it's bang on. Except for that should be 21. Of course, on the right side, I've got to take away 1, no 2. Got to take away Bob Whip. I could do it like that, or I could just take 2 off. It's a tricky one, that, to know what's best. Alright, that's all we needed. So now it's 88 on the Y. So these alleys were pretty correct actually. They just happen to be the same as the desk, which is convenient for us. Obviously only Bob's knees are going to collide with the desk. So in a minute he's going to get stuck to the desk as soon as I try and do this. Because I think I'm still just using the player's offset. So that's got to be 120. And finally 152. So they are matching up exactly with what we already had actually. It's interesting. I probably should have used some of them just to make it clearer in here rather than typing them twice. Why is it 29? It must be 19. Finally, right, I've finally done that. Apologise for going so slow, it's just the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? back in Bob. I mean, all that would still work, but I'm definitely leaving all that. It's here that I'm thinking of changing. When he hits what we were calling a T node, well, let's keep it simple and just not worry for now what direction he's going. It pains me, but I'm just going to delete that. It's getting in my way, it's stopping me thinking. It was working though. It's a shame. It's on GitHub. I've saved it. You know, it's not gone forever. I really want it back. And then these I'm going to adapt. I'm going to stop calling them corners. I'll probably end up just rewriting it all actually, yeah. But using that same structure. I've got the array of nodes. Let Bob do his thing. Yeah, I'm struggling with how to implement this for now. It's not a bad struggle because I'm struggling with too many ideas here. I can't even find the nodes now. I just want to look at them for a second. Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing stopping me pointing at nodes as Fractal suggested, and then just going to each one specifically, and then using the same code I've got here. I mean, I could even right now change these to just check if he's at that position, but is there a better way of making a loop and iterating every node? Right now we're triggering this when he hits a wall. Maybe I'll just try, let's just try knockouts. That's what we did last time and it worked. We just smashed out some code. And if it's crap, we'll delete it. So I'm going to go through each node. I'm going to have a little routine for each one and then a jump like this at the bottom that jumps to whichever one we want it to. Oh, why not Bob hit node? Thank you for the follow, my friend. I hope I say your name right. Zakatar. I'm very bad with names and also the screen's quite small so I can't read it properly, but thank you very much for the follow. The only thing that's getting slightly more complicated here is that we're going to have to, you know, check more than one value at a time. I mean, I should probably make a loop for this, but I'm going to continue doing it just each one and then maybe we can condense it into a loop later. I think actually with compare, you can compare to an IX value. While that's loading, I'll just write what I'm going to hopefully do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. So if we make sure that IX is loaded with, so this is almost certainly going to end up as a loop. The only reason I'm not doing it as a loop right now is I'm trying to save on the processor. If I loop through every single node every time, let's do it. Let's do a loop. So I think I'm just going to fall back on my ancient trick of just having the DB255. I mean, I could check if it's 19 and 152 and get out after I've performed the last bit of action on that. I think this will do for now. So I'll just get out if we find that. So that gets us out. Then we'll need a jump label down here to say go to next node. I don't like having magic numbers. A node is always going to have just two. So I'm going to put it in game values. We've got data lengths here. I'm going to do node data length. Just to be tidy. I don't like having just a 2 sat there in the code everywhere. Increment IX by that amount. Jump back to the very start of Bob hit nodes. Okay, so if Bob X is not the same as IX, which is the node's X, we just want to go to the next node. So if it's not equal, okay, that's that bit done. Do the same for Y. But IX plus 1. Jump, not Z. Same location. if both of them are not true, if both of these are not true, then we've hit a node. We've hit the node we're currently pointing at. So we now want some way of knowing what node we're on. And this is probably where my brain was going earlier when I was thinking I had to hard code it all. Somewhere we need to check. Well, we could put what we could do actually And I'd love suggestions as always. Hello Microman, I just saw your message there. So I didn't notice that it came in at the same time as the follow. What we should do is nodes should have one extra data format for an index. It might as well be at the front, because that way we can probably lose this and just wait till we get to the last one. Let's not bother having a 0, why bother? Eleven, 11. So I can either not return when we get to 12 until after I've done my check. So I could just, where the hell is it? I could move that down to the bottom and change that to whatever it was. 12. I could even have, if I wanted, total nodes equals 12. So let's try that out, because that's new for me actually. I haven't tried this. But instead of having the check there, we'll just immediately, because I swore I used Control X to get rid of that. Right, so we'll just get immediately into the action, and here we'll just compare it to total nodes, and if it is equal, return. That should work fine, because if not, it's just going to jump to the next like it normally would. Sorry, just sorting my arm out, an aching arm. That's still going to be fine. And it's just saved us that little tiny extra instruction or extra byte of memory. No real way of testing that because these nodes are invisible, of course, other than having it change a color when he goes over a node or something. That's got to be at the end, because of course we still want to check the last one. I mean, let's cut Bob check nodes. It is making sense. That's good. That's good. Because at the moment I'm struggling, but it's making sense in my head. But I've got too many ideas, like I say, and I'm going in two directions at once sometimes without knowing it. But we are gradually getting it. We will get it. Bob hit node. So at least we've now got a way of saying Bob hit a node. And we can just call that because if we're there, he's hit it. The problem is, it's not really a problem because it will just carry. If he hits like say node 6 out of 12, it will call that and do it, but then it will still check all the other nodes till it gets to the end. And of course we can't just call that now. Yes, we can. Yes, we can because if either of them are not equal, it goes past the whole thing and just goes to the next node. The problem is if it gets to the 12th one, it's not equal. So we need that up there actually. Down there, I should say. That's better. So before it goes to the next, it checks, was that the last one, and gets out. That still leaves us with the problem that if we call this after, say, node 1, because we're hitting it, it's going to call all that, coming right back to here. Wouldn't it be great to be able to, I mean, maybe just jump? And then right at the bottom here, let's pretend all this stuff below doesn't exist for a little. Let's highlight that, comment that out. So this will be all one routine now, like, you know. Except for this will return it when it gets to the end. But what we could do instead is have Bob check node finish return jump Z. Yeah, so that will go to the next. If it finds it's already at the last one, then it goes to the return. So now, and everything in here is jumping. So now everything, as long as everything we do ends up by jumping to that, it'll just go back to where we were where we started. But if we already hit one right at the beginning of the loop, we never bothered checking all the others. I think that will save us. I think that was where my downfall was before with code. Was I was too liberal with all the loop iterations, and it was causing flicker, and you know we couldn't draw enough sprites. All sorts of crap was happening, wasn't it? So I'm trying to optimize things like that. We've got quite a lot of nodes there. We don't want to be iterating through every single one. I mean, it will most of the time have to do that, won't it? So I've just got to remember that basically. IX is still having to point at the node as well. So I guess I can do a calculation off either Bob's position or IX at this point. They're both the same thing. So now we've got a painstaking thing of checking multiple checks. Is it bigger than this and smaller than this? I can't think of any other way, can you? I don't think there is another way. Because you can't just like push a reference to the node to a routine and say, you know, is it going left? Is it at the top left? The only bit my brain's really knowing is like a winner right now is the IX. I think is easier to use because you can do all the plus and we can compare it directly with A. So rather than using Bob X and Y, we can probably just use that to determine where we are. I'm probably going to do it, I think. I'm going to just have... I'm just going to do that. Also, I remember that it's going to jump to the finish every time. So 1, 2, it was 12, wasn't it? 3, 4, 5. It is a bit lame, but I think it's the only way I can think of doing it. When he hits a node, we've already got code. You know, we basically want copy variations of that in each one of them. And really, the other code is variations of that combined with that. Well, luckily, we know he's going to be equal to one of them constants. Wherever they are, I'm going to do the split view. Alright, so it's backwards, so I want it because the code I'm working on is on the right. Oh, it's changed. Whatever. It's them, innit? I'm glad I kept them now. I should really have definitely filled them in with the nodes because they're always going to be equal to that. His position when he turns. So we're going to have to use that to our advantage and make sure we check is it equal to that. check node, iterate through each node. If Bob is dead equal to any of them nodes, it jumps to this one. And this one needs to determine which node it is so it can call the specific routine. This is the crux. And it won't be calling it, it'll be jumping to it, of course. It's really hard to figure it out. I've forgotten what the top ones were. 45. Top edge. Sod it, that'll do. Oh no, it's not great. Oh, that's funny because that actually already is. We've only done 4, haven't we? Alright. I mean, I could have just as easily called them row 0, 1, 2, 3. No. So I've loaded top edge into A, and I can compare it with IX plus 1. It really is tricky, this, because I've got to check 2 positions at once. So I might need, instead of saying node 1, 2, 3, I might need like each alley has its own routine first, because I can first find out what alley it's in, then find out its X. I think I'm going to have to do that. We still need these. I'm going to do it that way around, sort it. I just don't like doing Y first, but it's really crazy, this. Stop calling them alleys, call them row, and I'll start from 1. So I'm going to rename all them. Okay, I think that's alright now. So we're actually going to need 4 of them. Of course, it's better to do it the other way around. If it's equal, jump to there. It's kind of messy, but do we have to reload it? This is what I always have trouble knowing whether I need to reload that. When I say reload it, do I need to do that? Do I need that? But I've got a horrible feeling I do. Even though it shouldn't call it if it's not equal. So it should be able to just fall straight through and check. I'll put to do there. Try and remember to remove it if we don't need it. Alright. Right, so far it's okay. So now we know what row we're in at least. I pretty much need constants for the other ones as well. I should have filled them all out as constants. I had a feeling. Probably end up changing these to node row or something. I'll call this one column. This really only relates to Bob because it's set exactly to his width. Most of them are that width, to be fair. So yeah, we need. Well, we can actually work out what node now, can't we? What exact node? So that's the X position. If it is equal to that, we know exactly what node he's in, don't we? He's in the top left corner. Node 1. So I think we're finally there. we've got a template. The only thing we've got to do now is to select the direction specifically to what node he's in, and make sure I get all the nodes done here. So, let's just copy that. I'm the copy paste man, and it's just the way to do it. So one of them have to be true, otherwise we're buggered. But it's gonna be okay. That's another reason I need to fill that up with constants instead, just so that you don't start changing it, because it will completely bugger it if you change them. But that is it, yeah, it's done. Very high maintenance, mate. He's one of them, isn't he? He's full of needs. But I can't blame him. Don't ask, you don't get. I think I've made a mountain out of this, because if you look, it's not that complicated. We already had all that. I've just been sat here thinking about it for too long. I should have just started writing it. That's actually the exact same now, except for the routine call. I believe we can just go down in logical order. It is, mate, it is. My brain just locks up sometimes. If they just let me out like an hour earlier, I'm sure it would be fine. But that extra hour and sort of just, and then there's an extra 10 minutes normally as well at the end. You're not even expecting always. You know, someone rings right there, and I'd be fine then. So that's about all I managed to rescue. And also I got the wrong one because I should have went for the top left corner. Then I would have had the right code. So I know that that's the top left corner. That's easy enough. This is a top middle. Again, I haven't checked his direction. So if I want to be really clever, I'm going to have to check his direction in these ones. We can add that on later. It's going to be even more jump labels like this, basically. There'll be another 2 for each one of these. For now, if we just allow him to turn back on himself, we could just put 3. Ooh. I guess we've got to split it into 2 only, really. So I might as well check what direction he's going. fob direction, of course. Well, I'll do right because I know he's probably going to go right more than like, when we see him. It's easier to get him to go right across the top middle. No way. That sounds like something out of a comedy show, doesn't it? What did they say when you said that to them? Do you reckon they just couldn't read? Or? This is why I've noticed on things like Google, it never says like invalid anymore, does it? It just says plain English, like you got it wrong or something. Yeah, so if he's going right, I'm trying to be clever here again. I could, of course, just have a Bob hit node to R. Pays the bills though, I suppose, doesn't it, man? I tell you what, I would love a job like that, to be fair. Sorry, I think. Just put it right here. I could either be clever and just have that one jump there. No, that would be stupid, actually. That would be very stupid. Right, so it got even more complicated, but still pretty simple, actually. So I now know he's in the top middle node, facing left. That sounds brilliant. Imagine if there was a ZX Spectrum helpline. You could just phone up with any Spectrum inquiry, including this. I'll just phone them up about this code and start reading it out to them. So I've got LDA, comma, IX. Oh, you lot are way advanced for me. I wish I'd got into all that stuff. That's the top middle facing right, so that's actually okay. That's the top right. It's going to be so easy. It's a bit like the double buffering on this. It's so easy to make one little mistake. If I put a return or... Why am I calling them? Is that okay? It will be okay, yeah, it will. I mean, if I get one wrong, he'll just face it in the wrong direction. It won't be hard to figure out a doubt. So that is obviously the second one down. Oh god, we're going to have to do directions on all of them as well, aren't we? I'll do directions on all the edge ones. But in the centre ones, I'm going to just let him walk any direction he wants. Yesterday you lost your rag with someone. Yeah, I don't blame you either. But I take it from reading that some poor soul was ringing up and on hold for ages. Just everyone else putting him through to someone else. That's funny. No wonder people can get hacked so easy, innit? Because imagine if you had your same password for years. Yeah, that is gold. I'm going to do the same thing I've done here, unfortunately. Well, check the direction. It's a lot of code. This time it's up and down. of direction. I hope that works. So there's a lot of hard coding, but should get him walking down them alleys. This one's a central node, and I don't think I'm going to check any direction. I'm going to let him like walk around all the desks, you know, so it'll be rare that he'll walk an entire alley. I think if I really wanted to, I could add some direction checks in here. I'd have to somehow do both like I did with the columns and rows, but I think instead yeah, it could be worse, Moz. Could be worse. Definitely. I'm sure the older you get, the more you appreciate jobs where you can just do them sitting down as well. I know, being 38, I'm already starting to look for that type of career. I did used to work in an office, but I got sick of it after 8 years. Pay didn't go up. Do you know what? I think I should check his direction because I have to check something. I can't do like a four-way random very easily without doing a label, so I might as well check his direction. He's in a central node. I'll have to check that he's not going a certain direction. I'll put right on the other one. Yeah, stick with that. Sounds like a good chair. It was too good, was it? I think the best way of doing this. We're in a central node. This is where I'm pausing. I'm struggling. Well, not struggling. I'm just having a debate in my head. I mean, I could come up with a way of getting all the up and down as well. Not sure if I need to. Let's say he was coming down. We'd check if it was right. It'd say no, and he would get put as left. Same as if he was going up or down. Hmm. Do you see what I mean? If I do a yes no there and say left, if he's going up or down, I mean I could exit out if he's going up or down of this whole routine. That would force him, he'd be doing a lot of full up and downs of the middle. I don't really like that idea. I think I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna go up, down, left, right. It's gonna be a real messy bunch of code here. When I look at it, this routine will be the longest one of it. I think even longer. Well, it won't be even longer than the double buffering. I'm never sure if I have to load A again. I'm gonna hope I don't. I did it earlier though. Alright. So much copy paste. So if he's already heading up and he's in a central node, I want him to either carry on going up. Oh damn it. I wanted to put 3 things without another jump label. So a way to do that? I think there might be. I most definitely don't want to call that again. I want to use the same number. Or do I? No, I don't. I'll say I'll do that. When I say no, I don't, yes, I do. So if he's already heading up, I want him to go up, left, or right. If he doesn't do either of them, then we can pull right. Oh, of course, that's a call. It's going to come back and call that anyway. Could put it there. I can think of a slightly cleaner way. Okay, that'll do. So it has a 1 in 3rd chance. It's got to be less than. So it's got a 1 in 3rd chance of doing that. And if not, it has a 50-50 chance of going left or right. Alright, I'll continue. So it's bloody laborious, but whatever the word is, but it's gonna. I think it's gonna work. But it's a long way away yet. That's 6. That's on the far right, isn't it? So that's the same as 4. When I say it's the same as 4, it's obviously the other side. Alright. And this one is the same as 4, isn't it? Alright. And then that one's the same as. God, I'm gonna have to write them out again, you know. I'm just too dumb. Oh dear. See you, Miko, man. Thanks for coming along, man. Shame because we are just about. We shouldn't be too far away from seeing him in action. But it'll always be available on YouTube and Twitch for a while. I've moved my window. That's distracting me. Let me move that back. Pretty sure we're bang on into all this. Should I change them? Oh, there it is. They're okay. I hope. I'm going to delete a load of it. I'll undo a load of it. They are that way sometimes, aren't they? That's brilliant. I feel like I mess it up by one. What happens when he hits a node, like node 6, when he's heading right? It'll just think he's heading down. So I might need to add another. I might need to do what I've done in the center for all of them. I probably will, but I can leave it for now. So 7 is the same as 4. Identical. I'll just copy and paste it again. I think I did just delete that when I'd already done this. But it's identical. And 8 really should be the exact same as 5. And it's no biggie that I've missed some out, like with that thing I just mentioned where he's going right, if it's going to think he's going down. It's just going to mean he heads down a lot when he hits the side walls. But I can just literally do what I've done here in the other nodes. But at this stage, I'll be happy just to see him walking around again. Oh, I've got a moth in here. Yeah, I'll be happy just to see him walking around again at the moment after adding all this. Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll be back next time. Lady of the housekeeper, lady of the manor. Image hosting. Oh, I didn't see that about. Forgive the Russian girlfriend ad. I think I do use Imgur or paste image or something. Don't normally, yeah, I don't normally do it. I'll go have a look now. That is nice. Awesome. Living the dream. Yeah, I wouldn't take a picture of my area. It's just rubbish in general. But it could be worse. Luckily, I don't need to change any of the direction stuff yet. So obviously 9 is the same as 6. Like I say, we'll probably have to make them the same as the middle ones anyway. And then 10. Is it the same? I mean, node 1 is that simple. So yeah, we again don't deal, it does need to be refined, this. But it's a start, it's a start. Oh, is that all it was? Oh, of course, he's only got 2 options if he goes to the corner, hasn't he? So he can turn back on himself in the corner. For now, I'll copy node 2. Okay, wow. I've completely lost track of whether that was enough or not, or whether there was something else I had to do after that. I don't think so. I think we can finally try them out just by calling. Oh, hang on. There might be something here I need. Oh, that's it, I think. So all we have to call, that's actually quite cool. We have to load IX with the nodes and just call Bob check nodes. That's where I didn't like the name check, because it's actually then going to actually move him as well. It's not just checking him. Damn, what do I call them nodes? L1 nodes. L1 underscore nodes is better. Oh, it's the moment of truth. No, oh dear, this is the start of it. Line 53. Did I get rid of them? I did. Bob hit wall. I could keep them, but I think I'll just change it. Maybe only when he moves. Good for you, man. Why not? Enjoy it. I could just call Bob check nodes when we try and move. I can get rid of this stuff that's causing the error. That's just checking if we've hit the wall, but he should only be able to hit a wall when he hits a node, because there shouldn't be any way of him getting to a part of the wall that isn't at a node. I bet he ends up just walking off the screen now. Try and move. It should be alright. I think finally. Unless there's other errors. Which there ain't. Oh dear. Oh, off he goes. He just walks down and crashes the game. I love it. Does it not like being in there? I can't see that helping at all. I think what's happened is he's not quite with a node. He doesn't hit a node. He's offset by 4. Just go straight past it. With mine, you've got to be actually equal to the node. Where's he gone? He's gone into game crash world. The outer memory, it's known as. The mythical world. Game sprites have heard about it, but they didn't know it actually existed until now. I do think that's the problem. Where's his speed? Bob. Bob's speed is 4. Where's his starting position? 45. Okay. And 11. So maybe I'm wrong there. He should have been on. He's in Tron World now. I think I could just leave that existing check I had to stop him walking out of the screen. But I'd rather figure out why that didn't work. Because that's his starting position. He moves by 4 each time. So he should only... Moving him by 8 isn't going to fix anything, is it? Because he just moves 8 every 2 frames instead. Of course, there's no max. So I just want to check the max node. $152 and 11. So because he's on 11, we've watched him walk down. I don't think he moved at all on X. Ah, min Y is 45. It's obviously wrong, isn't it? He can never meet that number. What's the best way of calculating that? 152 take away 45. 107. If we make min Y 48, luckily X is pretty much locked, isn't it? We can't get this problem on that. Oh, did you see? I see what's happened there. He managed to come off the axis of the nodes, didn't he? As he turned. That's a bugger. I think the way around that, and I might not have much time to do it for tonight, but the way around that is to fix him, fix his position. So if it's near to one of these Y positions where the nodes are, we have to find out which one he's nearest to and lock him to that. I don't think that'd be that hard. I can't just write it now. I don't know what to write. I think it's paste image or something. You can do it without signing up. Yeah, I think that sounds like a plan to lock him to. I guess as he walks past an axis, I think the same thing will have to happen on the both axes. The only other way around that is, I mean, there is definitely a way around that. Is when I check when I check the nodes. I'll just delete that now. When I check the nodes here, nothing to do with that. When I check it here to see, it has to be exactly equal. I could have make this much more complicated, but I could do it so that there's like a span. So it's either that or I lock him to that axis somehow. Lock him, to them values. Could be a struggle locking him to the axis nearest to him. That's the only thing I'm thinking about now. It sounds like the easiest one of the two. We'd have to have some way of checking which one was the nearest. I guess if you, well, I was going to say subtract. I guess, yeah, we could do the subtract trick, because if it was less than that, we could come up with a slightly different formula for the bottom ones. If we subtract Bob's Y from that, the problem will be if Bob's Y is greater than that. The only other way I can think of, and it's maybe another lane way, but have another state for whatever lane he's in, and you can only be one of them, one out of the list at a time. Every time he walks past one and it hits that number, it sets to the new state. It's a pain in the arse for doing that, but it would work. It could probably be done independently of all this. And then in here we could just, of course, just check what lane he's in. It'd be funny watching him try. I'd love to try and make a game like that as well. Motorcycle, neon thing. Was that on the Spectrum, that game? Or was it just a movie? I seem to remember seeing it as a game, but I don't remember the neon. I'm pretty sure I can remove land. Let's just do that quickly and compile. See if it still works the same. And it does. It looks stupid, that, but I'm totally not bothered about it. Because it's just because he shifts off that exact axis. Obviously, I know what the problem is. Arcade version. No way. I was very young. I remember loving Tron when I saw it. War Games is another one I absolutely loved when I was a kid. I've still got a special place for that one. I like that film. It's cheesy as, but I like the tech in it. And the fact that they've got the Ruskies, they're nuking. And they got that commander like, just nuke them. So I either lock them to that axis, or I do that state thing. The funny thing is, the state thing would eliminate loads of these nodes. I wouldn't have to have loads of them. I do remember it now you say it, the flying disc thing. Did you see War Games in the cinema? Cool. I think that was one of them ones that was lying around on VHS in my house before I was even old enough to remember anything. And then I sort of found it when I was young and watched it and thought it was amazing. I don't know why my parents thought I wouldn't like that film. They never showed it me, it was just lying around. If I do that state thing though, I can delete loads of them. All we'd need, actually, wow, I'm going to end up rewriting all this tomorrow. Because I'm going to actually have a state for Bob. I'll start doing it now, but I'm going to not finish it. It is basically a state machine. This is what we're doing here with these states. He'll have a state for every alley, or every row, sorry, and one for every column. Then when he walks over a node, we'll just set it to that state. Then we can just do a loop. We'll just go where we check the node. We only need to check 3. So we only need a state for the actual row he's in, and then we'll check the 3 columns. But that is basically a finite state machine. Every time I make the that's what, like, the direction is one really as well, especially with this included with it. That we're not really using yet. That's going to be when he goes hunting. I'm going to have to end up writing the whole thing tomorrow. So this was all wasted tonight, I'm afraid. Because I've got a feeling I'm going to change the whole lot down to just looping through the three, finding out already what row he's in, and then looping through the 3 nodes. And also, when I've found out what row he's in, I'm going to lock him on the Y axis. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a waste, because I mean, we've got this here for a start to look at tomorrow, but I did learn a lot about structuring this. It's quite hectic, isn't it? Making all these yes no things and all these different conditions. But then I thought, yeah, actually a better idea. I'll do the state, and I can't do that now. So unfortunately, bit of a but do you know what? I was looking for game music just yesterday, I think, and I went through the Dizzy soundtracks because I remember liking them when I was a kid. Went through a couple. The Amstrad ones of the Dizzy are the best by miles. Because my nephew had an Amstrad CPC, so I got to use one occasionally. It had the built-in monitor and everything. Well, it had the monitor that came with it. Did it? Yeah. Nice. I had the Commodore 64 and the Spectrum that I dabbled with programming, but then I didn't go any further. Yeah, it's definitely not a waste. It's just sad at the end of a long video that I can't demonstrate something that's working, but I think I just hit the nail on the head in my head. The penny just dropped of a way of doing it, and it sort of makes this irrelevant. But my main reason was I wanted to lock him to the y-axis. But in doing that, I've actually made this code redundant. So yeah. Oh well, there's always next time. If I have energy tomorrow and I don't just want to lounge around before work watching TV, then I'll do another couple of hours. Because I always like to do some coding. But I can't do it too. I'm wary that I like to watch a few TV shows and press the reset button, and then I'm more ready next time. But definitely the midnight slot is always going to be virtually every night. I'm going to be here doing this. So yeah. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow daytime. I've got a feeling I'll probably be on, but don't hold me to that. It could be the evening. But yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of your night. I want to write down here really what I'm going to do. I'll just put FSM for finite state machine, and I'll remember this whole conversation then. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, Mike. Thanks. Yeah, 'cause it's always a worry when there's no instant results, but next time, innit, we're gonna make quick results. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you then, guys. Have a good night. Goodbye.